Section 1.6, Order of Operations with Fractions and Decimals. The order of operations tell us the order to solve steps in an expression with more than one operation. Very important here, order. The first step we take is to solve any operations inside the parentheses or brackets. Second, we solve any exponents. Third, we solve all multiplication and division from left to right. This is a really important step that I need to emphasize. This is grouped, and we often see the acronym Pemdas, as you can see right here. But the order is not specifically multiply, then divide. The step is multiply or divide from left to right, whichever you see first. And the last step with addition and subtraction is the same. We solve all addition and subtraction from left to right, whichever comes first. So we have the acronym, and PEMDAS is an acronym to remember the order of operations. So I'm going to leave you with a task, and I have them listed here, so you don't have to go look anywhere else. I'm going to leave you with a task of listing what P, E, M, D, A, and S stands for. So once again, I want to remind you that multiply and divide are together, they're a group, and add and subtract are a group. They go together, whichever comes first from left to right. You are making a choice. It does not say multiply first, then divide, or add first, then subtract. Again, whichever comes first. Let's get started with some of our examples. It says multiply or divide the following fractions, decimals, using the order of operations. So I'm going to go into lots of detail with all of these examples. Number 1, 1/2 times 2/3 plus 1/6. Order of operations. So what I like to do is I like to write it out, and then I cross them out as I'm going through. But the crossing out is gentle because sometimes you have to reuse something. So first of all, notice how I have it written down. I have the M on top of the D because I want to remind you that it's a choice. If I'm coming in straight like this, I'm making a right from P to E, and then from E, see, you have a choice of going here or here. The M nor the D are first, it's a choice, and then the A or the S, it's a choice. So 1/2 times 2/3, the first thing I see is parentheses. So I'm going to take care of multiplication first. I have 1/2 times 2/3. To multiply, we multiply numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So this little part right here, 1/2 times 2/3 is 2/6. In this case, well, in most cases, I want to simplify. In this case, I'm not going to simplify because I'm looking ahead and I can see that the next fraction is 1/6. So it's going to give me a common denominator, and I am not going to get rid of it right now because then I have to come back and do it again. So that's pointless. We have 2/6 plus 1/6. So in my order of operations, I did parentheses. I look for any exponents, none. Multiply or divide, no. Add or subtract, yes. There's an addition, and in order to add, I need a common denominator. Are these the same? Yes, they are. So I keep my fraction with the same denominator, and I'm going to add 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, 3/6. Last step of any expressions is to simplify. So we have 3/6. How do we simplify? We use common factors. So for 3, I see 1 times 3, and for 6, I see 2 times 3. 3 and 3 are the same, so we end up with 1/2. Great. Let's try this again. Question number 2. So if you notice, I'm going to start over with my order of operations. I always have it written down to make sure I'm going down the list in the correct order. So I get started here. The first thing that I see is parentheses. So I'm looking at 4/5. All right, so I'm going to do some work over here on the side. I look at 4/5 and there's nothing to do. It's a 4/5. If I divide it, I'm going to end up with a weird fraction or a weird decimal. So really, there's nothing to do in parentheses. I am done with my parentheses. Let's go into exponent. Is there exponents? Yes. So I see my exponent here. Let's go ahead and start taking care of this exponent. What does this say? This says 4/5 times 4/5 times 4/5. This is 4/5 times itself 3 times. This is not 4/5 times 3, so make sure you are not doing that. So we're going to multiply 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. On the denominator, 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. Once again, I would encourage you to simplify, but I'm keeping my eye out for the next one, and I can see that the denominator on that one is 125. Let's bring this back. Notice I'm doing a little bit of, I call this side math. I'm working off to the side, and then over here I keep simplifying everything and rewriting so that my eyes can focus on the problem. Sometimes you all tend to write, see, and in the same little area. So then you kind of lose sight of what you're doing. So have like a scratch paper and have one place where you are actually completing the problem. Next step, I completed parentheses, I completed exponents. Do I have a multiplication or division? No. Do I have addition or subtraction? Yes. So I have a subtraction, and I notice my denominators are the same right here. So that means I can write the denominator as something over 125, and we have 64 minus 14, 50 over 125. Our last step, let's go ahead and simplify. When I'm simplifying, I'm looking for numbers that they have in common. So to simplify, I use 2, 3, and 5 in my mind. I've talked about these before. Whenever I want to simplify by 2, both numbers must be even. Whenever I want to simplify by 5, both numbers must end in 0 or 5. And 3 is also a common one, and it's going to be a multiple of 3. I'm going to show you a little bit of a shortcut to check if this is true, okay? So these are the numbers that run through my mind. So I have 50, and I think about 10 times 5. And for 125, I think about 25 times 5. If you cannot think of a number in your head, which is okay, bring out a calculator and try a number. So for example, 50, I know it's a multiple of 5 because it ends in 0. And so I just sit here and kind of try it. So for example, 5 times 2, right? And you start real simple, and that's 10. That's too low. So then I go 5 times 3. And that's too low all the way until I get to 5 times 10. And then eventually you'll get the hang of it and you'll get it a little bit faster. But there's nothing wrong with using your calculator to get to that simplification. So I came up with 10 times 5, that's 50, and 25 times 5, that's 125. So if you notice, these two numbers are getting simplified. And then I check again. I am currently at 10 over 25, and I know that this can be simplified to 2 times 5 and 5 times 5. Simplify again, and I am down to 205. And you are all set.